Absolutely.
Right away, the movement, the motion, the verticality sticks out. Talk to me about that design element, because it harkens back to like Quake and Unreal days.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing is, we've talked about those kinds of games, and I think they're doing a new Quake, which looks pretty cool as well. But it's really important to note that what we're doing is evolving this kind of game for kind of a new generation that expects kind of abilities and characters that have different kind of health and different movement styles.
Right.
And so the core of these types of games, these first-person shooters, it's not just the shooting, it's the movement. It's how you flow through the environment. It's whether or not the player actually has momentum. Then when you add in low gravity and the player zips into low gravity and jumps out, and they can actually bunny hop a little bit. So you start to get a little bit of that kind of like, strafe jumping, tribes skiing little vibe going on in there. And then when you add in zero-G and low gravity and blind firing behind you, it gets really, really interesting.
And I mean, this is the new map Promenade, I understand.
Which thankfully, the thing is here at E3, we're finally able to show off a new map, a new arena, because we've been showing off Grandview for so long, which is our kind of repurposed Grand Canyon. And now this is kind of my re-envisioning of what Santa Monica and Los Angeles could be in the near future and whatnot after an earthquake and humanity manages to rebuild Los Angeles properly without all the darn cars.
It's a very ambitious plan for Los Angeles.
Dude, it's really my thinly veiled middle finger to this town, because I love this town, but I hate it. It's like you're always in cars, you're always in traffic, so it's like if we could have like the big dig in LA and put all the cars underground self-driving, then we could have like lovely Frank Gehry architecture everywhere. And the Santa Monica Pier is reimagined with it's not just a Ferris wheel, but it's like omnidirectional now, along with a big zero-G pocket in the middle.
And I mean, in terms of just the gameplay, what has it been like to try to balance all the different motion routes that players can go through when there's so much freedom?
It's completely unbalanced right now. And that's why we're actually going to be doing the public alpha. And so when we do these public alphas, we actually say, come help break this game with us. We've had some streamers who are already playing the game giving us feedback on the health stations or feedback on the player speed and movement. Right. And we're having these boiling debates inside the studio, and I tell everyone, get used to it, because this is part of the process of 2016 and beyond and making a living product with your fans.
Yeah. I have to ask right away, there's so many different kinds of shooters coming out with Overwatch, with Battleborn, with Paladins. I mean, how do you see Lawbreakers fitting into the mix with all these types of shooters coming out?
I had this epiphany the other day, and I didn't tweet it in spite of my trash talking on Twitter. The fact that, if Overwatch is Street Fighter, we're going to be Mortal Kombat. Overwatch feels like it's kind of skewed, towards a kind of an anime fan type vibe, right? And it's a fantastic game. My wife is really good at Mercy, by the way. Don't go up against her. She gets to play the game every time. But we're like kind of the Western version of that actually has, a little bit of cursing, a little bit of gore. It's not gratuitous, but, we're going back to the kind of the roots of a shooter where you can actually do a star fall down and boom, cause people to explode.
Well, awesome. I mean, you talked about alpha plans. What is the more specific timeline in regards to that?
So basically what we're doing, we have our kind of alpha timeline coming out here in a second here, where we're doing a public alpha, and it's actually on the 18th of June, this weekend, where if you go to PCGamer.com, you can enter your name and possibly get in. There's only a limited amount of tickets that you can get in for that, and preloading will start on the 16th, so you're not sitting there on the 18th eating up all your bandwidth downloading the darn game. So basically what we're building up to is early access for everyone. I'm not revealing that date yet in regards to when the game's paid and whatnot, but it's free. There's no non-disclosure on the 18th here. You can stream the game. You can put it on YouTube. You can tweet me, tweet Lawbreakers. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you hate. Call us assholes. I don't really care. Just give us your feedback. That's what we're going for. They will.
Cliff, I love it, and I guarantee you will get that feedback. And I'm excited to play the game.
I'm
going to tweet at you. I want to get access. Once again, PCGamer.com/law. I believe that there were several thousand keys available, but they're all gone. Guaranteed.
Oh, good problem to have.
Of course. So, ladies and gentlemen, Cliff Bleszinski from Lawbreakers. Thank you so much for coming out, Cliff. It was a pleasure. Now, we've brought some developers on to talk about their upcoming games and their upcoming content, but another very important group in the industry is the players themselves creating new strategies to use against each other. And that content, that spectacle, has exploded into the world of esports, a world very personal and near and dear to me. So to talk about it, let's look at this video clip from Yahoo Esports.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrea Renee for Yahoo Esports. We wanted to take a moment during this year's PC gaming show to celebrate esports.
Before esports had all this money in it, it was a very grassroots situation.
But it wasn't really until the recent years, as we saw the advent of online streaming and some of these bigger esports titles, that things have really gotten huge.
I've been involved with Street Fighter since the early 90s when it came out in arcades, We didn't have a lot of tournaments like we do now. So 25 years later, there's just this massive growth, and it's amazing to see where the game has gone and where it could potentially go.
This is a really exciting time for Dota 2. At the International 5, EG pulled off the perfectly coordinated Echo Slam in order to take home the big prize pool.
Ready for the dome! In from Universe! It's a disaster!
I remember way back in 2011 watching the League of Legends Season 1 finals hit 100,000 viewers concurrently on stream, and that was when I knew League of Legends was here to stay.
My first stadium event was an IEM, and I remember when I was watching Counter-Strike there, that every single time someone hit like a really sick flick shot with an op, the whole audience like reacted like someone had scored a touchdown.
From Fallen in CSGO, Faker in League of Legends, and Fear in Dota 2, it is incredible to see everyday gamers rise to superstardom.
Evo Moment 37 is probably the most defining moment in fighting games and possibly esports history. It's a moment that drew so much attention and brought players into the scene. You can talk to so many different players who will point to that defining moment as a time they got into fighting games.
I remember the feeling when I was at BlizzCon in 2015 and the Heroes of the Storm audience was all the way to the very back of the giant convention center. They even had to take out a wall to allow for more people to watch. It was insane.
The introduction of live streaming and Twitch has exploded viewership of esports in a way I don't think anyone really thought possible.
The prize pools are getting bigger, the viewership numbers are getting bigger, and there's more monetary sponsors, and I'm so excited to see where it goes.
The future of esports is happening right now. It's growing every day.
With the introduction of more and more games like Overwatch or Hearthstone, esports can only get bigger as time goes on. It can only gain more fans. It can only become more exciting.
If you don't follow esports, now's as good a time to start as any League of Legends or Dota 2 or Counter-Strike watchers, any StarCraft players out there in the audience today. Esports fans, there we go. Start now, just go to Twitch, it's all over the place. Now, in addition to players being a critical piece of the industry, the technologists are as well, constantly creating new innovations for us to play with. So, joining me on the stage today is the lead sponsor of the PC Gaming Show, here to talk about some new goodies. Join me in welcoming from AMD, the CEO, Lisa Su. Lisa,
Hello,
hey.
Sean. How are you,
Good to
man?
see you.
It's good to see you.
I'm doing great. I'm just hosting a show. What about you?
I'm just hanging in there, developing some new technology.
That makes sense. I mean, tell me right away about Polaris.
You know what? We are extremely excited about Polaris. You know, Polaris has been in the making for a number of months, and we're getting ready to launch it. And Polaris is all about getting the best gaming experiences to as many gamers as possible. And you know, most gamers have a budget, and it's usually around $100 to $300. That's about 84% of the market. And for us, we're trying to get extremely enthusiast class performance at those types of price points so that all gamers can enjoy that kind of performance.
And I know it's not just the hardware side, but also the software side.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, we've doubled down on software, you know, game-ready drivers, working on the new APIs like DX12 and Vulkan. And we have a little bit of a treat to show you what we can do with Polaris and the guys at id on the new game Doom.
Let's go ahead and take a look at Doom running on Polaris.
Hi, I'm Marty, and this is Robert. We're back here at id working on a number of updates for Doom, and specifically Doom running on Vulkan. Gamers can look forward to a buttery smooth experience in Doom on Polaris, supporting a wide range of hardware and gamer budgets.
We believe the experience on AMD will be hard to beat across all hardware.
Want to play Doom on your laptop on the train home? Polaris plus Vulkan is going to make that possible. Bottom line is, you're not going to need a $700 video card to enjoy Doom at fantastic frame rates.
Lisa, the box has made a return. Last year we had a box, this year we got a box.
The box is bigger this year.
What's in the box?
Look, hey, we couldn't come to the PC Gaming Show without showing off some new technology. So let's see what we got here. We are showing off for the very first time the entire Polaris lineup, our 3 cards. So let me take you through them. First, let's start with the Radeon RX 480. This is our newest card for premium VR. And this is disruptive. This gets premium VR at $199 and above price points, and we love this card, going on sale starting June 29th. And then we have two other cards here, which are pretty exciting as well. We have the RX 470 and the RX 460. The 470 is really focused on excellent performance per watt, so it's 2.8x over the previous generation. And you get full HD experiences, 1080p running 60 frames per second. Gorgeous card. We'll have many, many different versions of this from our add-in board partners. And then we have the 460, which is really focused on esports. So I heard about all those esports fans in the audience. This guy is going to be the best card in the industry. Less than 75 watts, cool, fast. I think you're going to love these cards. So we're really excited about our new technology here.
Thank you, Lisa. And you know, it's not just, you know, you're talking to me about VR yesterday, and it's not just that these support existing technologies. You introduced to me the word a VR backpack, which I was completely confused by yesterday. Talk to me a little bit about that today.
So it's one of the cool things. I mean, you know, we're super excited about VR. VR has the opportunity to put incredible number of new applications there. And it's not just about the hardware, but it's about how we work with our OEMs. So my friend Renee here, part of the AMD Red team, is showing off a new Alienware reference design using the RX 480, and you can see the entire PC is in that backpack with the graphics card, and you're able to run, you know, full high-definition VR experiences with this reference design. So is that cool or what?
I mean, so this is the sort of thing that you could like take to an open field and be able to just wander around as opposed to just being in a room doing what I do, like punching the wall when I'm playing a VR game.
That's absolutely right. Who wants to be sitting down? You know, you want to be able to do everything that you want to do with the VR experience. And this is really just the beginning with what we can do with the Radeon RX series.
Now, in terms of working with developers, you mentioned Croteam earlier. Tell me a little bit about your work with Croteam.
Yeah, so look, I think VR is about the entire ecosystem, you know, the graphics cards, the OEMs, but it's also about the software. We have been working on new software called Liquid VR, which makes it easier for people to deliver VR experiences. You know, Croteam is ultra famous for all their work with Serious Sam, and what we've been trying to do is help them develop VR content actually using our multiple GPU features. You know, so what I'd like to say is, you know, we each have two eyes. Don't you think we should have two GPUs?
That is perfectly logical.
So let's see some of what Croteam is doing.
Yeah,
it's really exciting.
Serious Sam in VR.
Looks to me like things just got seriously real. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Get ready to get serious.
I still laugh.
We
Every
love
time.
Serious Sam, so.
Now, outside of GPUs, tell me about the CPU side of things at AMD.
All right, that's a little bit of a secret. But look, we love CPUs. We think, you know, they really go in a pair, and we've been doing quite a bit of development on CPUs. We have a new development called Zen. Zen is going first into enthusiast class desktop processors for gamers, and we've really optimized around, you know, high performance, 8 cores, 16 threads, really exciting stuff. Sean, I wanted to bring the lab here, but I needed the engineers to do some work. So
That would have been an odd show to have the lab on stage, and I'm glad that you brought the video to allow us to take a look at the new Summit Ridge line.
Exciting update from the AMD Bring Up Labs. We've been testing out the Zen core, and we've been doing our integration level tests, our feature enablement, and we have Summit Ridge running Doom.
Lisa, thank you so much for coming out today. It's been a pleasure to see all the new goodies.
We are extremely excited about what we can do this year. And Sean, thank you. And all PC gamers, AMD is for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lisa Su from AMD. And again, thanks for putting on the show again this year. It's a lot of fun. Now, let's talk about video games. Our upcoming title is from the makers of Life is Strange and Remember Me, the studio Don't Nod. Let's take some first exclusive look at some gameplay footage of Vampire.
I know I should feel something. So why don't I? What does it mean? That I'm dead too?
Steady, boys. We got one of them here. I've got... He's dead. You're mine, vermin!
Awfully different from Life is Strange. Eh? Now, our next guests were here last year where they were talking about the updates to their Gore engine technology, and here they're excited to talk about upcoming content. It's for Killing Floor 2. Let's welcome Tripwire Interactive's John Gibson.
John, great to see you again.
It is a pleasure. John, please join me here, and I'm going to ask you the easiest question ever. What's coming up with Killing Floor 2?
What's coming up? Okay, so Killing Floor 2, it's been out in early access for a little while. It came out last year, and we put out 4 major content packs for it. We have a really exciting one coming up called Bullseye, and it's got more weapons, more ways to kill the monsters, more way to kill players as the monsters. It's really exciting.
You get to play as a Zed.
You get to play as the Zeds.
Num, 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 num. Now, in terms of that experience of having it in early access, what has that been like to have so many people getting to play for so long and giving you the feedback leading up to this content patch?
Oh, it's been really great. We've learned so much. You know, we've developed analytic system to measure, you know, how, you know, what people like, what people don't like, because it's really hard when you have like 1 million people like all shouting things at you at the same time to tell what you really need to change. But in this upcoming update, we've added a lot of their feedback into the game and really retuned things based on that feedback. So it's been a great feedback loop.
That's so cool. And you brought today some footage of Bullseye. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. John, you're going to have to walk me through a little bit of that action. Tell me what we just saw.
Okay, so you saw the new Sharpshooter perk. It's all about killing the monsters from the long range. You saw the
Right.
really cool new weapon, the Horzine Tech railgun. It's this beast railgun that you can knock those giant monsters right on their butts. New characters. We've got some community maps that we're taking official.
Yeah, no, walk me through that process. How did that go from just something the community made to actually being part of the game proper?
So we had this community mapping contest called the Grindhouse Mapping Contest. And so now we're taking those best maps, we're helping them polish them up, and we're shipping them as part of the game.
That's so cool.
So people in the community are actually getting their content in the full game.
And I mean, we've been using the term full game. Killing Floor 2 has been in early access for a long time. What's coming up next down the line? When does it leave early access?
Well, we're planning on it leaving early access this fall. So we can officially announce that this fall you're going to be able to get your hands on the full version of the game. And also one thing really exciting, actually I'd like to do right now. I'm sorry, I wouldn't normally pull my phone out in the middle of an interview, but you know, all that cool stuff that you just saw, hold on. It's live right now.
Oh, that's
you can play the update
look at you.
right now.
Did you actually do anything on your phone, or is that just a prop phone?
That's just a sound. But somebody on the other side of the planet pushed a button that released the update.
Okay, no, that makes a lot more sense.
That was their cue.
Yeah, because I don't know if you could hear this in the audience, but when he hit it, it actually began to play a sound. And I was like, that's a lot of effort. You could have just said it, right?
I could have.
Well, John, I understand there's something extra you wanted to talk about today.
Yes, there is. Just real quick, for Killing Floor 2, for those of you that haven't got to try it, we're starting a free weekend on Steam, starting Thursday, running to Monday. So if you want to play it, you haven't got a chance, you want to fight as the monsters, because we just added that, go do that. We do have one more thing.
Well, John, what's the one more thing?
Well, actually, if you don't mind, I'll take over hosting the show for a minute. You know, we have from Oculus Development, Anna Sweet to help us announce.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Anna Sweet from Oculus. Anna, welcome. Come join us. Anna, what are you doing here?
Well, I've known the team at Tripwire for a long time, so I'm really excited to be here today to help them announce a new game called Killing Floor Incursion. If you think the Killing Floor universe is intense, wait until you check it out in VR with Oculus Touch. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, and I understand this is not a translation of the current Killing Floor 2. Instead, it is an entirely new experience in VR. Let's take a look at Killing Floor in VR. John, I don't know if I'm going to be able to play this game. That looks so scary, man.
It's scary.
And I mean, like, completely outside of just the horror element to it. I mean, that must have been a real interesting new space trying to figure out how to translate some of the gunplay experiences from Killing Floor into virtual reality.
Absolutely, and that's one of the things that's so exciting about working on virtual reality. You know, when we got the touch controllers, we're like, this is really exciting, but how are we going to use it? We're really sailing in uncharted waters for the first time in years as game developers. So we're like, how do you model recoil in VR? How do you move? How do you, and solving all of those problems, it's been challenging, but also very exciting.
I mean, what's one of the most interesting things that you think, like especially the recoil one? How does that work?
The recoil, it's a challenge because when somebody's shooting, you don't want the gun pointing up here, but their hand feels like it's pointing in that direction.
Yeah,
so you have to be really subtle with the recoil, but you really want them to feel powerful. So that's been one of the real challenges.
And I'm curious, Anna, you work with a lot of different people and different developers in VR. How do these sort of lessons translate to other titles?
You know, it's really exciting. This is sort of a complete ability to rewrite every genre and remake all the rules, and we just see developers doing incredible things. It wasn't that long ago we didn't even know if first-person shooters would work in virtual reality, and now you have a team like Tripwire who's just redefining the genre. So it's a great time. for gaming.
Well, Anna, I understand that there is an additional title that you wanted to talk about in the VR experience.
That's true. So I'm not sure if you'd call it a first-person shooter or maybe more of a ballet, but the team at Superhot has been hard at work creating a new experience that really drops gamers into a Matrix-like encounter. So we're really excited to announce that Superhot will be coming as well for Oculus Touch, and I think we have a new trailer.
That's awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, John Gibson from Tripwire Interactive and Anna Sweet from Oculus. Thank you so much for coming out to talk to us about first-person VR. And now it's time to take a look at that Superhot VR trailer. Still like this. This is my favorite part of that whole trailer. Now, the next video piece coming up is from one of my favorite developers of all time, Obsidian, that made Fallout New Vegas, made Pillars of Eternity, and their upcoming RPG asks the question, what if evil won? Let's take a look at Tyranny.
For centuries, Kairos the Overlord has conquered the known world.